Today we're going over the patch notes that for Texas Chainsaw Massacre that just came out about 23 minutes ago. So let's get right into it. So this is the September 26th, which is tomorrow. So I'm recording this at 3:23 in the afternoon. Let's see, the following notes for our upcoming patch schedule to begin rolling out on console and PC tomorrow, September 26th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Good to know the timing. So the first note we have is they fixed the Hitchhiker trap exploit, fixed an exploit where Hitchhiker players can use his trap to pass through walls and doors. But that pretty much means is that I guess what happens is when they put down a trap, they would be able to walk through it without anything. So I guess that's a good change to that. I'm glad that they fixed that. This was a problem because Hitchhiker was really buggy, and like as of right now before the update, like he's been pretty problematic only because of the bugs. So I'm glad that they got into it. This is a big W right here. Hitchhiker trap interaction issues. We resolved an issue where victims would be unable to interact with gaps, crawl spaces, and other elements from stepping in a Hitchhiker trap. This was a big problem with this character because he, like, every time you would get hit by a trap, or if you step into one, and your whole game would start freaking out to where you really couldn't do anything. So I'm definitely glad that they fixed that, because this was one of the biggest issues with him, is like you really couldn't do anything. So it was like so unfortunate because like you would get hit by a trap, you try to walk through something, and then the game would freak out and you couldn't do anything. This was a fucking big problem, and I am glad that they fixed it. Thank you, Gun Media, for finally getting rid of this bug. This was a big problem because they wanted to fix this. So thank you with that. Johnny and Sissy lunge. Ho, this is a big one. So, Johnny and Sissy both had a lunge that was greater than other family members. We adjusted this to be more in line with the rest of the family members. This should also correct the Johnny Bill we're seeing and used in public matches. You guys know what this means? This fix, right, is one of the biggest things that was a problem. See, Sissy had a poison bug exploit where every time she would hit somebody, the poison effect it's supposed to only affect after one basic attack, but instead it kept stacking, and she was really busted. Johnny, on the other hand, was also another problem, to where he could just keep swinging and gaining movement speed, and he would just catch up to you and kind of just like pretty much, it was a stupid exploit that was in the game. And tomorrow they are finally fixing it to where Johnny can no longer do that. That is a big fucking W, because that was just the most unskillful thing I have ever seen on a character. However, at the same time, I want Johnny to have more utility in his kit. I am not a fan of the fact that he can just have nothing, because at the same time, his only thing is that he can only track people. They probably should look into his ability more to kind of give it more strength, because he definitely needs a lot more, because like Sissy like has poison, and she can kind of slow that area down, or kind of make the survivor go into another direction without getting hit. Johnny's whole thing is just tracking people, and that's just kind of the most boring thing. So hopefully they need to, because Johnny, in my opinion, is just a worse Leatherface. So this was also a thing where they need to look into Johnny more to give him more utility, and I think that's what they need to do. But I'm just glad they got rid of that stupid exploit where he can just get movement speed while he's whiffing his attacks to catch up to you. That was a big problem, so I'm glad they got rid of that. Next thing that they fixed, the brightness cheat fixed an issue that would allow PC users to adjust their game brightness outside of acceptable levels by editing the game files. I didn't know that was a problem, so I'm glad they fixed that for the PC players. Hitchhiker traps at ladder exits. Okay. So this was a problem. Anytime you went up the ladder, Hitchhiker can just pretty much put a trap there right when you step on, or right when you climb up, and you get caught instantly. That was a pain in the ass. I'm glad that they kind of fixed it a little bit, so that way he's not like too oppressive. But you can still get decent trap placements with him in certain situations. I'm just glad they just got rid of that stupid bug that he had where you couldn't do anything, which was a big fucking problem. We adjusted the area at the top of the ladder to where Hitchhiker can place a trap. I mean, if that's the case, which is good, you can probably put it somewhere where they probably would run the most, or where you least expect them for them to actually figure out. So this still allows for a strategic play, but will give victims an opportunity to counter the trap. That's perfectly fine with me. I'm not going to be angry about that. I'm glad that they're looking into that and that's getting patched. Hitchhiker could probably just put his traps somewhere where they would least expect, or probably where they would run the most popular places unless you push them near it. So that's actually good. I'm not really disappointed in that. I'm glad that the Hitchhiker bugs are getting fixed, and the Johnny exploits is gone too. So that's also good. They changed the fuse box reset. The family can now turn the fuse box off after a victim turns it on. There is a cooldown applied to the switch, similar to generators and car batteries. This is actually pretty huge. To pretty much the fuse box, the family members weren't able to turn it off, so because the victims could just turn it on, and I think this is sort of a counter to the rush, where they can just rush for fuse, because usually a lot of Connie players like to rush the fuse box, and they kind of like find it in most areas where it could possibly be due to the spawn rate. So I'm kind of glad that they slowed that down, so basically you can't really like rush unless you're playing Hitch and you're really camping or Cook and you're camping the fuse box. So that's actually pretty decent. So I'm not really angry about that. So the fuse box rush meta, I think it's kind of slowed down maybe a little bit, but we'll see what happens. We got to see how it is in game tomorrow, so we'll see. So this is huge. The family stun immunity. Family now has a 10-second stun immunity period after initial stun ends. There is no stun immunity after a family member is stunned by a victim bursting out of a hiding spot or hiding place. If you attempt to stun a family member who has immunity, you will not see the prompt for Leland's ability or a backstab. If you attempt to stun a family member who has immunity with a door slam, it will have no effect. Okay, this is actually interesting. Oh, and close encounters all vary in duration due to the individual family members having different stun recoveries. Therefore, the immune period is different for each. Okay, so I'm guessing this is going to refer to the stuns, basically, the stun immunity to certain characters, like I think Bubba. So like if you get hit by a bone scrap, you won't get double stunned by like Leland's shoulder charge, which is actually pretty good, because I think the infinite stuns were kind of stupid. Like the old bone scrap, where like you can basically like bully Bubba to where to a certain thing where you weren't able to like move at all. And I think this might have something to do with the doors. I'm not certain. We gotta look into the game tomorrow to figure what that means, but if it's referring to the doors, then like that's actually good, because the doors are a real issue to me, because like sometimes you'll just get hit through them even if you slam the doors. I think the basement doors are also a problem. The wooden doors aren't really too bad because you can latch it, but this is actually pretty good. So anytime they get stunned by something, you won't get infinite stunned after a while, and it's only for 10 seconds, so that's actually pretty good. And if you attempt to stun a family member who has immunity, it won't have any effect. So you really just can't stun the family members repeatedly over and over again after they've been hit with that. So that's actually pretty good. The close encounters and all that. I wonder what this one's going to be. We gotta see what that is. I'm kind of confused. So if anyone knows, just comment down below. What are they tuned? Taekwondo perks leveled. I guess that's something to do with the door because of how long they're stunned for. So I guess when you're I don't know I think that's a family perk where if you hit them with the door, they get knocked on their ass for like about 8 seconds at max. So 5, 6, 8. Okay. Agitator. 1.5, 2 levels, and 2.5. This one was really, really strong, but I still think it'll still be pretty good. So basically, if you had this max, you can reduce Grandpa's level by 4 or 5 levels down. 2.5, I still think it's gonna be pretty good. I think it'll still, I think 2.5 will still be decent. I don't think this perk is gonna go anywhere, so I think it'll be fine. But this is actually pretty good though, because I think 4 levels down was a little bit too strong for this character. Or not the character, for the perk. I think this will really help not really have the bone rushers kind of make smart decisions on what if they're really going to go for it or not. but I think overall this is actually pretty good. Decent nerf. I think I think it should go to 1.5 if anything, or make 1.5 this, and you can probably make like 1.1, 1.2, and then maybe 1.5. I don't know. Maybe that's something they should look at. I still think it'll be good either way, but this is actually pretty fine for me. Tuned stealth performances and minigames. We have adjusted the amount of noise generated in gathering minigames when at full stealth. I think this will probably make you more quieter, so I think this is actually good, because sometimes I think even if you go full stealth, you'll still probably get found if the family members are smart. So this is actually good. Tuned Leland ability stun duration. We've adjusted the stun duration upgrades for Leland's lifesaver ability. So Leland got a nerf recently with his stun duration, or no, his stun cooldown. So it's like it was at 2 minutes and 20 seconds at level 1, and I think at level 3 it's 180. I forget level 2. I think it's like 2 something. I know at level 3 or level 1 it's 220. I know at level 3 it's 180, but I don't remember. I don't know the second level, so I might be wrong about, maybe it's like 1 something or 2 something after that. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's the patch notes. This is actually pretty good. I'm really glad they got rid of the Hitchhiker changes. They got rid of the Johnny exploit. I'm saying this is really good. I am so glad that they got rid of it. It was really fucking broken, and the Hitchhiker exploits are gone. Johnny and Sissy exploit, or most of the Johnny exploit is gone. So everything that's pretty much said is all good to go. So I'm actually glad this was changed. W patch. However, I'm still hoping that they bring back crossplay, because this was definitely important. I really want crossplay to come back, hopefully soon, because it seems like on Twitch the game is getting a little bit stale. So hopefully, if they bring back crossplay, then like they give us DLC with the new members coming to the game. So hopefully we'll see what happens then. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. And as always, stay groovy.